Freezing under pressure isn't weakness. It's your oldest survival instinct. And the fact that nobody told you this may be the most damaging gap in your self-understanding. Most people know about fight or flight. It's the stress response everyone learns about, the surge of adrenaline, the racing heart, the body preparing to either confront danger or escape it. What almost nobody learns is that there's a third response, and it's older than both of them. It's called the freeze response, and it operates on a completely different system, with completely different logic, and it explains things that people spend entire lifetimes blaming themselves for. To understand where the freeze response comes from, you have to go back, far back, before animals evolved the speed to outrun predators or the strength to fight them. They had something simpler: stillness. Predators respond to movement. A prey animal that could become completely motionless, slow its heart rate, stop moving, mimic death, had a survival advantage. This is tonic immobility, and it appears in animals across hundreds of millions of years of evolution. The opossum playing dead, the rabbit freezing in a field, the deer that stops in headlights. This response predates fight or flight. It is the original survival strategy. In humans, this system is still active. Researcher Porges identified it through his polyvagal theory, a framework for understanding the autonomic nervous system that has changed how trauma is understood and treated. Porges identified 3 distinct states. The first is social engagement, calm, connected, safe. The second is sympathetic activation, fight or flight, high alert. The third is the dorsal vagal state, freeze, shutdown, immobility. This third state is the most primitive, and it activates when the brain makes a specific calculation that the threat is too severe, too fast, or too inescapable for fight or flight to work. When the dorsal vagal system activates, the body goes into emergency shutdown. Heart rate drops, breathing slows, muscles lose tension. The prefrontal cortex, the rational, decision-making part of the brain, goes partially offline. And critically, the mind often dissociates from the body. People who have experienced this describe feeling like they were watching from the ceiling, like time slowed down, like they were numb, somewhere else, not quite present. This isn't a sign that something went wrong. It's the nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do under conditions of extreme overwhelm. This is what makes the freeze response so important to understand, and so devastating when it isn't. Survivors of sexual assault are asked, "Why didn't you fight back?" People who went blank during a confrontation tell themselves they were cowards. Someone who couldn't speak when they needed to assumes there's something wrong with them. A person who shut down emotionally in a moment of crisis tells themselves they're broken. None of this is accurate. All of it is the freeze response, an ancient, automatic, involuntary system making a survival calculation in fractions of a second, completely outside the control of conscious choice. The research on tonic immobility in trauma is significant. Studies have found that between 37 and 52% of sexual assault survivors experience tonic immobility during the assault, becoming unable to move, speak, or resist. This is not passivity. It is not consent. It is the oldest part of the nervous system taking over when the newer parts assess the situation as one where resistance wasn't viable. Healing from experiences where you froze often requires, first and fundamentally, understanding that you did not choose it. That the freeze response is not a reflection of your strength, your courage, or your character. It's a reflection of your nervous system doing its job in the only way it knows how when it decides the situation has exceeded the capacity of every other response available. Psychologists call this tonic immobility, and understanding it is one of the most important acts of self-compassion available to anyone who has ever blamed themselves for not doing something they were never physiologically able to do in that moment. If this explains something you've carried guilt about, subscribe. Every week I break down the psychology behind why people do what they do. Because sometimes the most powerful thing is simply learning that what happened to you had a name.